Juliette, what's
John.
your experience so far here at the UN?
Well, to be honest, I am, I'd say, relatively skeptical about these large, meetings and gatherings of coming together with all the people that make the decisions. Because, and John, I think you are, you stand behind this more than anyone, but in the end, the people that are actually doing the work are the people on the ground. And I think this topic has been huge. Like these past days, I've heard a lot of the words indigenous communities and people on the ground, and you could say it becomes a bit of a jargon word and a kind of nice to use word, but I think in our session specifically, I noticed that although that is the case and it can become a bit of a rhetoric or conceptual term, I do believe that it feels like it's going towards the right direction. And the fact that we need a global strategy to manage our resources, our water resources, and restore ecological functioning at a large scale is not going to be driven by only one end of the spectrum. You can't have only the people on the ground because they do not have the opportunity to see the bigger picture. So to work from both ways, I think that's the most important part, and I believe in our past few days I've been seeing more of those opportunities popping up. So yeah, I'm happy about it.
Is there something that is critical on your mind? Maybe you could talk a little bit about the Sinai Peninsula or about the work of the weather makers?
Yeah, so we've been, and I have personally been with the weather makers for just under 2 years, but we've been working for 6 years on the, starting first of all the concept, the research, and what is really happening in terms of climate. How has this system degraded over the past thousands of years? And as a more science side and meteorological side, I think it is a huge opportunity because using geospatial data, what I specifically do, to be able to analyze such systems on a not only ecosystem level but on a huge landscape catchment scale level. And now that I'm noticing that this is a necessary step, if we only look at small-scale project, the scale won't be big enough to actually have the impact that's necessary for regional and for global change. So using the Sinai as a inspiring centerpiece of this movement, I think that is a great opportunity, and I believe the starting point might have been today only, gaining these connections, and yeah, I'm excited for the way forward.
Is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you want to talk about?
I think this is also something that popped up, and also in my presentation, but in the conversations I've had, and about the value of ecological function, and I don't think that's a thing we can say enough, and I definitely don't believe it is yet integrated into our financial systems, into our minds even, and I think it goes step by step. So we first have to be conscious of that value, and then we actually have to make the steps towards integrating that. And I know these things take time, may even take generations, but yeah. So in general, I'd want to emphasize that we all take a step back and look at our life around us and what do we really need to feel wealthy. And wealthy has been coined as a term, take New York, for example, huge buildings, very capitalistic society. We have a lot of products, but what we truly need to be a good functioning society is clean air, good water, good soil. And definitely for the future generations. I am also embarrassed if I leave the world behind as it is now, so let's transform it together.